Hi, my name is Mike Huynh, and I am currently the Director of Campus Ministry at the Hall Newman Center serving SUNY Oswego, as well as the Associate Director of Campus Ministry for the Diocese of Syracuse. I think when you talk about vocations, you have to recognize how complex and unique they are, because obviously we're all very complex and unique. And I know for myself, my vocations begin with, being a father, being married, and then in a really beautiful way, in a unique way that impacts my vocation as a campus minister. So when I think about my journey, I recognize that my family has had a tremendous impact on me. Both my mom and dad were refugees and came to this country with nothing. Let me reframe that. They came here without material things, but they had a lot. They had their faith in their family. And I remember growing up, with every new wave of refugees, they would always make sure that folks had all their basic necessities met. And I remember even helping moving furniture. And whenever they, encountered hard times, they would always lean into their faith. And for me, that just had a tremendous and profound effect on my life and my journey, recognizing that, wow, it's about caring for one another, it's about serving. And so I guess when I look back, I realized and came to terms with the fact that service, for me, really meant love and action. And so for me, I was always drawn to that. So I was always looking for ways to how do I serve? How do I figure out this love and action thing? So at one point in my life, I found myself on a service trip to rural Appalachia. And being a typical teenager, I think I was more concerned with me, myself, and I than anything else. But we were there and we were working on, substandard housing, helping out the rural sector. And I remember just being transformed in such a beautiful way, recognizing, wow, like you could really live out this gospel stuff. You could do it literally. And it blew my socks off, and I experienced this tremendous joy. And when I got home, I remember just, reflecting on it. And all I could think of was, God just wants me to share this joy. That's it. That's all I got to do, share this joy somehow. And so being open to that and just kind of always, following that prompt from God, I guess, I found myself doing some really amazing things that just have profoundly affected my journey. And, I was able to live at a Catholic worker farm for a few years. I became a Francis Corps volunteer and professed as a secular Franciscan, and, ended up being a school counselor so that I could work with young people. And, all the way, when you look back, you realize, wow, this all fits somehow, right? However, just when you think you're doing what you think you need to be doing, I think God always kind of urges you to dive in a little deeper. So at one point, a good friend of mine called me up and said, Mike, you should think about being a chaplain in campus ministry. And my first thought was, you're out of your mind. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I remember thinking, reflecting on it and thinking, wow, well, is this what I want versus what God wants of me? So a few weeks later, as I do every summer before school starts or the semester starts, been doing it for a couple of decades now, I'll go on a long trek, a long backpacking trip. And for me, it's sort of like this purification thing because, you're working hard, you're carrying all this weight and you're hiking 40 miles, but you have to be with yourself. You have to be with God. You have to be in prayer because you really have nothing else to do. And I remember at the end of this trek, I remember thinking, God did not give me one good excuse to not try this, right? And so I remember going home and talking to my wife about it and praying and discerning. And to this day, after giving it a shot, I'm humbled all the time by just thinking of what a gift it is to journey with people, to just share God's joy and God's love with them. What a gift, what a humbling gift. Yeah. So when I look back, I think part of our call is really just to listen to where God is calling us to. And I always say you can't hear if you're not listening, and to pay attention, because God is giving us signs all the time and leading us along. And if we're paying attention, we'll see it. Mark Twain once said, the two greatest days in your life are the day you were born and the day you figure out why. And I think part of our vocation is really figuring out why, and if we pay attention, if we listen, we'll figure out that why. Because I'm pretty sure God has great things in store for all of us. God is smiling. My name is Mike Huynh, and that's my story.